We would like to start today's episode with a big thank you to our patrons. We would especially like to thank our newest patron, Commander G. Meister. Thank you so much for your support. I was very pleased to see you join our Skunkworks Discord server, and I look forward to fighting Thargoids with you at our next Wing event. Again, Commander G. Meister, we thank you. The Federal Gunship by Core Dynamics is the heaviest Federation military vessel in the medium class. One of only 3 medium class vessels the Federation operate, it is intended as a heavy support to the Federal assault ship and dropship, and to this end it is better armed and further armoured than both the assault ship and dropship, while sharing a similar hull layout and utilitarian aesthetic. An aesthetic I am particularly fond of, I might add. The Federal Gunship pays for this added protection in speed, unable to hit the 450 meters a second boost speed needed to maintain pace with even the slowest Thargoid interceptors. The cockpit of the gunship is the standard Federal layout, with the pilot below a co-pilot's seat and excellent visibility from its large canopy. The co-pilot can be of some use as the gunship is capable of launching fighters. Given their lack of AX capability, they are not really worth bringing along as a rule. When it comes to armaments, the gunship is very well provisioned, with 2 medium hardpoints either side of its nose, with the spreads just wide enough to make use of multiple flak launchers, 2 small on top of the hull for thermal vents, and on the underside, 2 medium and a large hardpoint with excellent convergence for Gauss cannons, allowing for a lot of damage to be delivered on accurate shots. The gunship has the usual 4 utility slots for Federation medium ships, and while it can be armoured up considerably, this does impact the speed quite a lot. As a result, it can be a better option to forego the maximum protection in favour of speed and manoeuvring capability. It also has a reputation as one of the worst turning ships in the galaxy. The gunship's reputation as a poor turning ship could be deserved, or it could simply be that the handling is more suited to flight assist off than on. Most pilots' opinion will be from flight assist on flight after all. The gunship was designed to be a Federal policing turret platform, but today we're going to push it beyond its comfort zone with an all-fixed Anti-Xeno loadout. It's time to see how the Federal gunship fares against the Thargoids. First, we face off against the Cyclops. The lack of speed and handling are likely to be the biggest hindrance to the ship's performance, as unlike the larger vessels, it cannot mount 6 heatsink launchers and ride heatsink cover while in silent running. With swarms likely to be close quarter engagements, will the gunship be able to get flak on target quickly? It features fairly weak vertical thrusters, but with what seem like far better lateral translation response on the lateral thrusters. When facing multiple interceptors in a slow ship like the gunship, lightning is always going to be a risk. The aiming mobility of the gunship is slow, yes, but not nearly as bad as its reputation would have you believe. This does also make it a relatively stable aiming platform. The convergence of the underside hardpoints allows for good damage output when on target too, though there is definitely a short adjustment period to aiming if you're used to a more nimble ship. The gunship handles Cyclops well, and with the double interceptor instance, the only real problem was pulling off the lightning flybys after the first heart of each interceptor. The Basilisk would potentially make a bigger problem of the gunship's shortcomings, however. With its higher top speed, would it be able to bully the gunship? During attacking runs, the gunship performs well, able to deliver damage quickly. Chasing the target does occur, but not enough to be an issue. The thermal vents can help maintain a silent running temperature when working down the shield, allowing much less heatsink usage. Between hearts, the lower speed meant that the Basilisk was always nearby, so it would have to be a close-range swarm engagement every time. Performing a flyby though will allow very temporary bouts of increased range, and so there is opportunity for repairs and rearming. Overall, the Basilisk was trickier than the Cyclops, yes, but still well within the capabilities of the Federal gunship. The Medusa was up next, and with both longer attacking runs and longer shield time to contend with, how would the gunship perform? The gunship's weaker thrusters mean orbits decay quickly. The Medusa was the first interceptor that needed regular boosts to keep the orbit going instead of just maintaining range. Following the destruction of the second heart onwards, a fair amount of distance could be made between the gunship and Medusa, and with accurate flak usage, the swarm could be eliminated at range sometimes. At the halfway point, I was finding the rhythm of the gunship, but you cannot become complacent in this ship if you don't actively keep the orbit up. Trading shots with the Medusa can be expensive in terms of hull damage. The use of 2 flak launchers in this build did make easier work of the Medusa swarm up close. The Medusa was actually a little easier to handle in the gunship than the Basilisk, as after the first heart, distance could be made up between hearts, but it was certainly a tougher fight than it would have been in the Federal assault ship. There was only the Hydra left to face, and as always, it is a true test of a ship's AX capabilities. Now, I hadn't actually intended to take on the Hydra in this run, merely test the water, and so I was using basic ammo on the first heart here. I would switch to standard after the first, but the use of basic would impact the attacking run time, and so should be mentioned. The heart had returned to nominal state and would need to be re-exerted. Before I can make another run at it, I needed to restock heat sinks. The gunship was able to carry out its synthesis while in range of the Hydra with active manoeuvring and the use of thermal vent beam for cooling. On the second attacking run, the first heart fell, and almost out of ammo on this load, I decided to switch to standard rounds. The attacking runs here are very scrappy, with a lot of damage going both ways. The hull strength on my lighter build was tested many times, and having a good rhythm between hearts was holding things together. Flybys work well, and so getting the swarm up close and alone was fairly easy. Accurate flakking was again crucial. There were lightning attacks, but the gunship can take advantage of them to get a heart if needs be. So long as the rhythm is kept up, the attacking runs were going smoothly, and hull could be gained back between hearts. But slipping out of that rhythm made things very difficult. When repair times led to an enraged swarm, a lot of costly damage was taken, and getting back into a good rhythm was very difficult, meaning that most attacker runs now would have a swarm present. The gunship held on in there though, and chipped away at the Hydra's resolve. The gunship had overcome the Hydra at last. It had been a very evenly matched fight, but in the end, this heavy support vessel had proven itself worthy of the challenge. The gunship is a very enjoyable vessel to fly, far more so than I was expecting. It has big limitations, yes, but these can be overcome with the right strategy. The slow turning might even prove useful to those starting to learn flight assist off, as it may be easier to control as they adjust to the completely different way of inputting control. While I cannot recommend it over the Federal assault ship, I will certainly be using this ship again.